We are here at the Z-Man booth once again, and we are looking at the Battle of Kembles Cascade. And these gentlemen are the designers. They flew all the way from Sweden. Am I correct? Wow! All right. And this is Ollie, and this is his brother Anders. They are 2 of 4, and they flew in to just for me personally to give me a rundown of their game that they have designed, the Battle at Kembles Cascade. So, without further ado, I will switch over to you and let you explain your game.
All right. Let's start with, I think a lot of people is familiar with shoot 'em up games, where you zoom around in space and try to shoot each other and enemies and big bosses and collect universal glory and money to win the game. So basically we try to mimic this vertical scrolling experience by using space cards. You add, there you are. You remove the space cards from the bottom every round, and you add them to the top, which
to create a scrolling effect.
Scrolling mechanism, sort of. You have to fly through that in order to advance. Well, basically, I mean, from these games, you also always you get scroll pushed from behind. If you don't move, the space will automatically magically push you from behind.
Correct.
Always, of course.
And I'd imagine as you're going, you're going to come across plenty of obstacles and bad things.
Yes. So basically, you have small enemies that you can shoot at and kill it. You shoot at it and you just cover it up, and you get the reward for it. Normally, money. Money doesn't win the game.
Here's the money.
With the money. Bolognium.
You gotta call it what it is.
Yeah.
It's bolognium.
Oh, yeah. you can buy these upgrades here. You will need the upgrades to move faster and shoot harder, because you may manage to fly through the game a certain amount of time, but when you arrive at the final boss, which is always at the end, you will need more firepower to shoot at it.
Let's put a boss in here just for the fun of it, so we can look at
the boss there. It's the boss that's on
the front cover.
It's on the front cover of the box.
You know, it would be so awesome to have like the music playing as you're playing this game. I could just feel the video game theme, you know.
And all the pew pew.
Exactly.
Pew, pew. We have the music for our favorite game. What's it called?
Tyrion.
Listen
to that when we design.
Is this actually a 2-tier monster?
It is a 2-tier monster.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, so it's basically it's 3 bosses with 2 tiers, one boss with 1 tier.
So
you randomly choose which one you should use in the game.
He looks mean.
Yeah, he's mean. Yeah, that's the guy.
Now you can attack each other and all, as well and everything, right?
Yeah,
as you're
it's a big. It depends on what kind of strategy you want to play by. You can either try to zoom around and collect glory through different objects and the boss, or you can be a player killer if you want. Or
a player killer.
Player killer. So the PvP just lets you add threat to the other players, and they can still avoid your shots.
And how that works, all the bullets coming your way and how to avoid them. We use something called threat as a mechanic, because usually there's a lot of bullets coming your way in these kind of games, and you try to avoid all of them, but we cannot do tokens for all those bullets. So instead we use something called threat. So if we look at the red guy here, for example, if he finishes here, he looks at all the 8 squares around him to see how much bullets he is gonna get coming his way.
Basically, if you talk about flavor here, he ends his move here, and all the enemies that are nearby
are targeting
they
him.
detect him and automatically fire a bullet at him. And you know, in these games, there's like the bullets are small yellow round things that slowly moves towards you.
Yes.
So you don't get the damage immediately. You have the next round to avoid the bullets. And the bullets that you don't avoid will slam into your ship and do damage.
So what happens is, let's say, if this guy is standing over here, he's getting 2 threat. The next turn, for every move he makes, he can dodge 1 bullet.
Okay.
And the bullets that are left is going to hit the hull, and he's going to get damage for those. And then he checks again.
Excellent.
And if you shoot at each other, you just add more threat. So even if someone fires a lot at you, you still have this little chance to try to avoid all of it and still be in the game and gloat at the other person for not killing you.
And of course you can collect power-ups. That's you just run over the square and pick up a power-up from space. which are quite powerful one-off things that you keep hidden at your hand. And by doing that, you can add damage or remove threats. Or
Power-ups are always typically good, though, right?
Yeah. Like
Is there never any?
There's the flares. It can reduce 2 threat. You just shoot away some flares.
And you can just play those automatically?
Doing your own turn normally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, could you use those to cancel out threat, or do you have to accept the threat first and then cancel out?
No, you cancel out. You shoot out the flares, so the bullets hit the flares instead of yourself.
And there's one power-up, it's called a wormhole generator. That's you have to spend 1 energy to use it. You make a wormhole appear.
You can
2
teleport.
locations, and you just teleport to that location and zero out all your threats. So,
Awesome.
So, a lot of people are asking about it, I would say. I've heard before. The fact that it's called Bolonium.
Bolonium! Yes, your Bolonium has a first name.
The rare metal Bolonium.
Okay,
And
are we going to
of
get an
course-
explanation on
Of course,
this?
there's the funny side of it, as it sounds like bologna, but it actually comes from
sausage money.
a goddess called Bellona, who is the goddess of war.
Greek ancient goddess of war. Yeah, there you go.
It is the Greek ancient god.
Yeah.
It's not actually made by Oscar Mayer, and you know. Okay.
That's just the fun side.
I didn't know that there was actually a history to this, but that's
Yeah.
awesome to find out.
Yeah.
So the game ends after you finally destroy the main boss, correct?
Yep.
Now what happens? I mean, if you get destroyed, what happens?
If you die, all the other people will gain some glory from your death. And you will just be placed beside the board, and the next turn you can just go into the board again.
Now, do you lose any of your power-ups or any of your abilities?
No, you just lose a little bit of dignity, and all the other people gain glory. So yeah.
And on top of that, when you get destroyed, because when you fire on top of it, fire at each other, you put your PvP markers on the other players. So you might look like this. And when this person gets destroyed, everybody gets 2 glory, and these people get 2 extra.
They
and
get
3
extra.
So
Excellent.
that's the reason for shooting at each other wildly.
Okay, and then if I look down here, this is where it looks like we're going to have a score tracker keeping track of everything that's been taking place.
That's the glory.
So this is basically just whoever scores the most points wins the game, right? Just that simple. But in the process, it's a matter of upgrading your ship to be better at what you're doing, trying to move to the right positioning, possibly slowing down your opponents. There's a lot of stuff to think about here, gentlemen.
Blocking each other, you know, you have the asteroids section if you want to play with that. You can make sure you block each other so you get pushed into the asteroids and explode from that. And we also have this, for maybe more experienced players, something called achievements.
And missions.
Yeah,
and those give you glory as well.
That's like optional glory. Achievements is as soon as you do this.
As soon as you accomplish it, then you get those.
You get it, and you turn up another one.
And then you can do as many as you want throughout the game.
Yeah,
sure.
and the mission is 1 per person per game, so that is an individual one.
Yeah, and they give more glory.
Yeah.
And only 1 mission per game?
Yeah, you can optionally you can take a new one if you want.
Very good. Well, gentlemen, this looks exciting. I tell you what, I love the idea of it scrolling and constantly becoming a bit more difficult as the game continues. And I'd imagine that there's a way that you devise this so that it's not too difficult right off the bat. It's going to gradually build up, right?
Yeah,
Excellent.
that's done with the different sections. If you see here, this is called S1, and that is squadrons. That is easy enemies. Of course, now there's a boss in the end.
Yeah.
But you got sections called asteroids, and you got section called fleet, section called wormhole. So you just build your level the way you want it.
And you see this, like in the wormholes, you have some micro bosses also. And you have some alien entities that you can fire upon and all sorts of stuff. That's a space maze that you fly through to collect glory.
So it's just like you're just being fancy now.
Yeah.
It's all about letting the rest of the universe know that you did cool stuff here. Sort of.
Well, gentlemen, you have anything final you'd like to say to anybody watching?
I would like to say one thing, and that is the box cover. It's probably the most awesome box cover I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And the funny fact that the Kembles Cascade is actually an asterism that is... You can watch that one with your binocular if you watch up to the sky.
In real life.
That's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is real. So that, see that the Bolonium is real? the name of the game
You-
is real.
Yeah.
It's all real. It's
You
out
guys
there.
are ruining this whole fantasy vision I had of all this stuff.
These weapons exist.
No,
But
okay.
we're not allowed to say that.
Yeah, that's a secret project. I think you might have some men in suits showing up anytime. Gentlemen, I really appreciate you taking your time, and congratulations. Wish you all the success.
Thank you.
Griffin Gaming, from new releases to pre-orders. Griffin Gaming. Enter in promo code GreyElephant for 5% off your order.